You know, if you're learning English, I bet you've felt this. It's this really common, almost heartbreaking frustration. You spend years, right, in classrooms, you read all the grammar books, your vocabulary list is huge. You can, I don't know, read a really complex article.
Yeah, you understand it perfectly on paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the second a real conversation starts, poof, everything just vanishes.
It's like your mind goes blank.
Totally. Your lips feel like they're glued shut, your tongue feels enormous, and that sentence you had perfectly planned in your head, it just stalls.
Yeah.
Never makes it out.
In that moment, that silence, that feeling of sheer panic, people usually think, oh, it's just confidence, or I forgot the word.
Right. A memory problem.
But the material we're diving into today, it really pushes back against that. It offers a fundamentally different view.
Okay.
We're focusing on the one thing most English teaching just skips over completely, the physical side of speaking.
Physical.
Yeah, physiological. English isn't just in your head, it's physical. Speaking fluently actually means training your mouth. Literally, like your lips, tongue, jaw, treating them as a coordinated muscle group.
Okay, that's interesting. So the idea is if those muscles aren't trained, fluency is always going to feel out of reach, no matter how much grammar you know.
That's the core argument. We've pulled this together from material called Train Your Mouth, the speaking fluency system, and its premise is, well, beautifully simple. English speaking isn't just thinking, it's doing. It's an action.
An action requiring coordination, lips, tongue, jaw, even how your breath flows.
Precisely. And if those physical parts, let's call them your speaking muscles, if they're weak or slow or just not used to moving in the English way,
then you stumble. You sound hesitant.
Exactly. Fluency feels impossible even if you could ace a grammar test.
Wow. So this really flips the script on how we usually think about language learning.
It does. We tend to treat it like purely mental work, right? More flashcards, more rules.
Yeah, cramming more information in.
But this approach, it's mechanical, it's practical, it's physical. And it comes with a promise.
Yes.
A simple, but really consistent 5-minute daily method. The claim is this can actually transform the physical way you produce speech.
5 minutes a day. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, the focus isn't on overnight magic. It's on building the physical habit. And through that physical change, you build real, lasting confidence.
So this isn't really about what words to learn.
No.
It's about how to actually use your voice, the physical apparatus you already have, to say those words smoothly.
It's about learning movement over just memorizing more stuff.
Mastering movement over memory. I like that. Okay, so we're going to unpack why your mouth might feel like a robot sometimes.
The science behind it.
We'll detail that exact 5-minute routine they propose.
Step by step.
And hopefully show you how you can start speaking English more fearlessly, maybe even starting today, by, well, training your mouth to talk fluently.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's tackle that really painful bit first. The unspoken barrier. We've all seen it or felt it. Really smart people, right? People who can argue complex ideas fluently in their own language.
Absolutely. Highly articulate individuals.
And then they try to order a coffee in English, and suddenly they sound hesitant, unsure. Why? Why does someone who knows the language still struggle so much to actually speak it confidently?
The source material gives a pretty blunt answer, actually.
Yeah.
It says the mouth is physically untrained. Simple as that. It just hasn't built up the specific muscle memory needed to move like an English speaker's mouth moves.
Untrained muscles. Okay, so how does that connect to, like, the sounds of English?
Well, think about phonetics, right? Every language uses different parts of the mouth, different movements. Spanish tongue placement is different from German. Arabic uses throat sounds that, aren't common in Mandarin.
Yep.
So when a native English speaker says something like, "What are you going to do?" their tongue tip hits a specific spot behind the teeth. The lips round in a certain way for the vowels. It's a rapid sequence of very specific muscle movements.
Movements that have become automatic for them over years.
Exactly. Thousands, millions of repetitions. But if you haven't physically trained those specific English movements...
Your mouth just does what it's used to, what it does for your native language.
Precisely. It defaults back to those old habits. And when you try to force it into English patterns, the mouth, your tongue, lips, jaw... It feels slow. It feels lazy or stiff.
Because it's trying to run like the wrong software, the wrong movement patterns.
That's a great way to put it. It's trying to use native language muscle programs that are just fundamentally incompatible with English sounds.
And that's what causes the slow, broken speech, the feeling that it just sounds wrong or unnatural.
That muscular lag, that inertia, yes. It's not about your brain failing. It's about a lack of physical conditioning for the specific task, a lack of motor skill fluency for English.
Which is why they bring up the fitness analogy.
It's such a powerful comparison because it takes the pressure off, you know? It removes that sense of personal failure.
How so?
Okay, imagine reading a detailed manual on how to do 100 perfect push-ups. You understand the physics, the hand placement, the breathing. You have all the knowledge.
Got it. Intellectually, I know exactly how to do a push-up.
Right. But if you haven't actually done push-ups, if you haven't stressed and strengthened your chest and arm muscles through physical repetition...
The moment I try, I'll probably collapse.
Exactly. The knowledge is useless because the muscles are weak. The sources argue that's precisely what happens with speaking English.
So I know the vocabulary, I know the grammar rules.
Yeah.
So the push-up manual.
But your speaking muscles, your tongue agility, your lip flexibility, your jaw control for English sounds, they lack the strength and coordination to move quickly and smoothly in a real conversation.
That's actually quite liberating. It shifts the focus. It's not, I'm bad at learning languages. It's, I haven't done the physical training.
Precisely. Think about your native language. Every sound, every syllable transition. You've repeated them countless times since you were a baby. Automatically.
Without even thinking about it.
That created an incredibly deep muscle memory. That's why native speech is effortless. But with English, learners often hit those tricky sounds. The soft consonants, the silent letters, the way words link together.
And they stumble, or mumble, or just skip them.
Yes. Because the mouth isn't physically trained to produce those sounds quickly and efficiently. It takes conscious effort, which breaks the flow.
And that broken, choppy speech then feeds back into feeling unconfident.
It becomes a vicious cycle. You sound hesitant, you feel hesitant, you avoid speaking, the muscles get even less practice. It reinforces the idea that you're bad at speaking when really you just missed the physical workout part.
Okay, but the good news here, the real promise of this approach,
is that these speaking muscles, they're highly trainable, just like muscles in the gym.
they respond to practice.
They respond dramatically to focused, consistent practice, and the source material is really clear. This isn't about spending hours passively studying.
It's about that 5 minutes a day.
5 minutes. Using a targeted physical method designed specifically to build that flow, to, well, train your mouth to talk fluently. The focus is purely on the mechanics of making the sounds.
And it's not about sounding like a perfect native speaker from London or New York.
Not at all. It's about achieving flow. Getting the sounds to move together naturally, smoothly, so your listener isn't struggling to decode each individual word.
That smoothness, that rhythm, that's what signals confidence.
Absolutely. It makes you easier to understand, which makes the listener more comfortable, which in turn makes you feel more confident. It's a positive feedback loop built on physical skill.
All right, let's get practical. Theory is great, but people need action. You mentioned a bold promise.
Very bold. Noticeable physical change in how you sound, how you feel within 30 days, just by committing to this very specific, very concise 5-minute daily routine.
5 minutes for 30 days. Okay,
Yeah.
What's the underlying idea? How does 5 minutes make such a difference?
It's about building tiny, repeatable physical habits. The goal is literally to rewire the mouth's default settings for English sounds.
Got it. And the core philosophy driving this is?
Reading is knowledge, speaking is movement. You have to say it again and again. Reading is mental, speaking is physical.
Movement requires muscle memory.
Absolutely. And muscle memory only comes from physical repetition. So this 5-minute routine, think of it as the essential daily physical warm-up.
Like a musician doing scales before playing, or an athlete stretching.
Exactly like that. It's designed to shift your physical state, your muscles, your breath, out of your native language mode and into English mode. It's non-negotiable prep work.
Okay, break it down for us. What are the steps in these 5 minutes?
Right. Step 1, the first minute, is the mouth warm-up. You wouldn't sprint without stretching, right? Same principle for the mouth.
Makes sense. So what's the goal here?
Just to wake everything up. Get the main players, lips, tongue, jaw moving, and shift your breath control away from your native rhythm towards something more ready for English.
And the actual exercises?
They sound a bit silly, but they're targeted. First, lip rolls. Gently buzz your lips like a kid making a motorbike sound.
Brr, like that.
Exactly. About 5 seconds, do it 3 times. This gets the lip muscles, the orbicularis oris, activated. English needs flexible lips for vowel shapes, and this fights that tight-lipped mumbling.
Okay. Lip rolls. What else?
Then, the tongue stretch. Push your tongue straight out, then pull it slowly back in. Really feel the stretch at the root and the tip. 10 times.
Why the tongue?
Because the main tongue muscle, the genioglossus, has to do a lot of work in English. It moves forward more. It's more active for sounds like L or TH than in many languages. This gets it ready for those quick, precise movements.
Got it. Lips, tongue, jaw.
Yep. Jaw loosening. Simple one. Just gently open your mouth wide, then close it. 5 times. So many people clench their jaw when they get nervous speaking English.
Guilty.
Right. It tightens the chewing muscles, the masseter, and that really slows you down. This releases that stiffness, which is a huge barrier to speaking faster.
Okay. And the last bit of the warm-up.
The smile stretch. Big, wide smile, like you're genuinely laughing hard. Hold it for 5 seconds, relax, then do it again.
Why smiling?
It preps all the facial muscles, it brings energy to your face, it helps you avoid that stiff, stone-faced delivery, and encourages the kind of facial expression that makes speech feel more natural and engaging.
I can definitely see how doing lip rolls and tongue stretches might feel a bit awkward, especially at first.
Oh, for sure. You probably want to do it in private. But the sources insist this minute of prep is vital. It loosens you up, activates muscles you might not normally use much for speech, and it's the physical trigger for smoother sound. A warm mouth is a ready mouth. Simple as that.
Okay, 1 minute down. What's step 2?
Step 2 is the mirror technique. This takes another minute. And it's not just about checking your pronunciation, it's about tackling the fear factor.
How does looking in a mirror help with fear?
You stand right in front of the mirror, make eye contact with yourself, and then you choose a simple, strong, empowering sentence.
Like what?
Something like, I am learning to speak confidently. Or maybe, this is my voice, I own it. Something positive and declarative.
Okay, got my sentence, then what?
You say it, slowly at first, and you watch yourself speak. Watch your lips move, your jaw, your tongue. Focus entirely on the physical act of forming the words.
Watching myself.
Okay. Then repeat it about 5 times in that minute. Each time, try to say it a little bit faster, a little smoother.
But how does this fight that deep-seated fear, the stage fright? Isn't that more psychological?
It is, but think about what stage fright is. It's mostly a fear of being judged by others.
Yeah, looking stupid.
So when you stand there and force yourself to watch yourself speak English, you're essentially confronting that judgment internally first. You're making the image of you speaking English normal, less scary.
You're desensitizing yourself to it.
Exactly. The sources say, yeah, day 1 feels super awkward, but by day 3 or 4, it starts to feel okay. And apparently by day 10, it can actually feel powerful because you've built this internal image, this identity of yourself as someone who speaks English by literally facing yourself doing it.
You have to see it to believe it, almost.
Kind of. You have to physically confront your own reflection to build that solid internal confidence.
Interesting. Okay, 2 minutes down. Warm up, mirror.
Yeah.
What's next? This must be the core training part.
This is where it gets really interesting, yeah. Step 3, shadow speaking. This takes 2 minutes. And this is where you build that real-time reaction speed and try to bypass the brain's translation habit.
Shadow speaking, what does that mean?
It means mimicking, basically. You listen to a short audio clip, maybe 5-10 seconds max from a native speaker. Could be a podcast snippet, a line from a movie, anything authentic.
Okay, I'll listen.
And immediately, like an echo, you repeat it out loud. You try to match everything, the speed, the intonation, the rhythm, even the emotion if you can catch it. You're literally shadowing their voice.
Simultaneously or right after?
As simultaneously as possible, or with the tiniest delay, like you're talking right along with them.
Wow, okay. What's the key focus here? Understanding the words.
No, that's the crucial part. This is pure muscle training. You are not supposed to stop and think, what did that word mean? Or was that grammar correct?
Just imitate the sound and rhythm.
Exactly. If you hear them say, I don't think that's a good idea, kind of mushed together, you repeat that exact sound, that exact rhythm. Even if you stumble, even if you miss words, you keep going. Don't stop. Don't analyze.
Why is that so effective?
It's like a neurological hack. Your brain, forced to listen and speak at almost the same time, at speed, doesn't have time for translation. It can't go back to your native language.
So it forces direct processing.
It forces the auditory part of your brain and the motor part, the part controlling your mouth, to work together directly. It trains your ears to catch the rhythm, your mouth to produce it, and your brain to link them instantly.
Like how kids learn, by imitating sounds.
A very similar principle, yes.
Yeah.
It builds that smoothness and naturalness by forcing movement and rhythm over slow, conscious analysis.
Okay, that's 2 minutes on shadowing. We're at 4 minutes total. What's the last minute?
The final minute is step 4, the fluency loop. The specific goal here is to get comfortable with speed and to just, well, stop overthinking every single sound.
How did the loop work?
You take one simple sentence again, something you might actually say like, I'm going to improve my English.
Okay.
And you repeat it, but in 3 distinct speeds, one after the other. First, slow. Really slow, exaggerate every sound, feel the movement, focus on absolute clarity.
Like a slow motion repetition earlier.
Exactly, pure muscle control focus. Then, normal. Say it at a comfortable, steady, conversational pace. Smooth it out, feel the rhythm.
Okay. Slow, normal.
And then fast. Push it. Link the words together confidently. Try to hit near native speed, like I'm going to improve my English really quick.
So you cycle through slow, normal, fast with the same sentence.
Yes. And you repeat that entire SNF loop maybe 3 times within that final minute.
Is there a risk with the fast part? Like practicing mistakes really quickly?
It's a fair question. The sources see it as a calculated risk. The idea is the slow and normal stages establish the correct movements. The fast stage is more about cognitive load.
Overloading the brain.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You push the speed until your brain basically gives up trying to consciously control every sound. It forces the brain to recognize the whole phrase as one unit and just execute it automatically. Oh, I know this pattern, just say it.
Building automaticity.
Exactly. That compressed SNF loop builds confidence with speed much faster than just saying it normally over and over. The brain eventually goes, okay, this is easy now.
So let's recap the 5 minutes. Minute 1, mouth warm up lips, tongue, jaw, smile.
Yep. Get physically ready.
Minute 2, mirror technique, face yourself, say a power sentence, build confidence.
Confront the self-judgment.
Minutes 3 and 4, shadow speaking, mimic native audio, focus on rhythm, not meaning, trained ear-mouth connection.
Build that real-time reaction.
And minute 5, fluency loop, repeat a sentence, slow, normal, fast, build comfort with speed and automaticity.
Push past overthinking.
5 minutes total. Focused, physical practice, designed to turn that passive knowledge into active, spoken English.
That's the system. Simple, repeatable, physical. Okay, so we've got the daily workout routine. But why does someone who knows grammar perfectly still sometimes sound unnatural? This brings us to what the sources call the robot problem.
The robot problem. I think I know what you mean. Learners who speak very deliberately.
Exactly. Breaking every single word apart, separating each sound. The result is speech that sounds flat, maybe slow, definitely mechanical.
Like they're reading from a script, even when they're not.
Right. They might be mimicking how words look written down, or maybe carrying over patterns from their native language where sounds are more distinct. But it clashes badly with how spoken English actually works.
So what's the alternative? What's the secret that native speakers use?
It's not really a secret, just something we do unconsciously. Native English speakers talk in sound clusters. We don't usually process or produce individual words in isolation.
Sound clusters, like groups of sounds.
Yeah, groups of sounds that just flow together, like one continuous stream, like music, almost. This is the core of what people call word linking, or natural flow, or rhythm. The sources call it speech music.
Speech music, I like that. It implies it's less about individual notes and more about the melody.
Perfectly put. Fluency isn't about hitting every single grammatical note perfectly. It's much more about getting the overall rhythm right, the flow.
So we should shift our focus. Less, what are the exact perfect words? And more, how do I say this whole idea smoothly, rhythmically?
That's the argument. You can actually sound incredibly fluent and confident, even with a few small grammar mistakes, if you nail the rhythm and the flow. The smoothness signals competence to the listener.
Can we look at some examples? Contrast the robot way with the fluent way.
Definitely. Take a simple question. What are you doing? The learner, focusing on each word, might say, what are you doing?
Very separate.
Right. Clear pauses between words.
But a fluent speaker, it often comes out sounding more like what you doing.
What you doing? Yeah, it all blends together.
Words cluster. It's faster, smoother. The T and what's and the Y and you often squish together to make a chi sound. It's physically easier and faster to say it that way.
Okay, give me another one.
How about, did you eat? Learner might carefully say, did you eat? Fluent speaker often says something like, did you eat?
Did you? Wow, yeah. Did you becomes one quick sound.
Again, it's about comfort, speed, the path of least resistance for the mouth muscles, not a perfect isolated pronunciation of each word.
Even something basic like, I don't know.
Right. The careful learner might hit the T and don't, the K and No, quite hard. I don't know.
But fluent speakers.
Often it's more like, I don't know, or even just don't know, reduced, rhythmic, blended.
So the choppiness, the robotic sound, really highlights the effort and the hesitation. Whereas the smooth flow, even if the accent isn't native, immediately makes the listener feel like, okay, this person can communicate effectively.
So how do we train this flow? How do we practice speaking in clusters instead of separate words?
The sources recommend a specific daily cluster practice. It's very rhythmic.
Okay, step by step.
Step 1, pick just 3 common sound clusters each day. Things you actually say a lot, like, gonna go now.
Which becomes, gonna go now.
Exactly. Or wanna see it.
Wanna see it.
Or let me know.
Let me know. Keep it to just 3 so it's not overwhelming.
Right. Focus is key. Step 2, this is the fun part. Say them like a song or a chant. Repeat each cluster rhythmically, maybe 10 times.
Like a song. Why?
Because rhythm is physical. Music helps lock things into memory and builds physical habits way faster than just droning words. You start to feel the flow in your mouth, separate from how the words look on paper.
Okay, wrapping my English phrases. Got it. What's step 3?
Step 3, put that cluster into a simple, full sentence. If your cluster was going to go now, maybe the sentence is, okay, I'm going to go now. See ya.
Makes sense. Give it context.
And then you say that entire sentence as one smooth sound. No breaks. Focus only on the flow. Repeat that whole sentence maybe 5 times.
Practicing the cluster within a natural-sounding phrase.
Exactly. Now, step 4 is the one they say is absolutely non-negotiable.
What is it?
Record yourself. Every day. Use your phone, whatever. Record yourself saying your 3 clusters and your 3 full sentences.
And then listen back.
Immediately listen back. And this is crucial, listen only for the naturalness and the speed. Don't get hung up on grammar mistakes or accent perfection. Just, does it flow? Does it sound smooth?
Why is listening back so important?
It's instant feedback. The sources claim it's incredibly powerful. Apparently, just by doing this daily recording and listening, you'll actually hear a difference in your own voice within a week. It forces awareness.
Okay. Record and listen for flow. Is there anything else?
There's an optional step 5, kind of a supercharger. Try practicing saying the clusters with some soft background music playing, something with a steady beat.
Practice on the beat.
Yeah. It helps you nail the rhythm, but it also builds better breath control, which is essential for smooth, connected speech. It reinforces that idea of English as music.
So it's really about internalizing the rhythm of the language physically.
That's the core of it. And they even give a little starter kit of common phrases to practice clustering. What do you think? What do you think? Let me help you. Let me help you. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I gotta go. I gotta go. I want to do it. I want to do it.
Mastering those common ones gives you building blocks for fluent conversation.
Exactly. You master the heartbeat of fluent speech.
Yeah.
So we've covered the mouth warm-up, the practice routine, the clusters, the physical side. But there's another huge piece of the puzzle.
Which is
the mental game, the brain. Because the sources are really clear on this. You can do all the mouth exercises in the world, but if your brain is just a mess of noise...
Noise like what?
Fear, self-doubt, constantly judging yourself, overthinking every single word before it comes out, that internal chatter, that anxiety, it paralyzes you.
The silent assassin.
Pretty much. The painful truth is, many learners focus only on the mouth, but the brain is still running the old fear software, and the mouth just can't speak fluently if the brain doesn't believe it can.
So the physical training isn't enough on its own.
Not for fearless speaking, no. The sources use this great analogy.
Yeah.
The brain is the pilot. The mouth is the airplane.
Okay.
If the pilot is nervous, hesitant, constantly double-checking the manual, afraid to take off, the plane isn't going anywhere smoothly or quickly, right?
Right. The plane itself might be perfectly capable, but the pilot's holding it back.
Exactly. So we have to upgrade the pilot's software, the brain's emotional and thinking patterns, at the same time we're tuning up the airplane's mechanics.
How do we do that? How do we train the brain not to freak out?
Well, one of the biggest mistakes learners make, according to this system, is focusing way too much on accuracy.
Getting the grammar perfect. The tense right.
Yeah. Trying to be technically correct above all else. But think about conversations you have. Do you remember every little grammar slip someone made?
Honestly, no. Not unless it was really confusing.
Right. What you remember is their energy, their confidence, the emotion they conveyed. People connect with feeling, not perfection.
So the advice is, don't worry about mistakes so much.
It's more than that. It's step 1. Speak with emotion, not just accuracy. You need to actively train your brain to feel the sentence, not just construct it grammatically.
How do you practice that?
Instead of just saying a line like, I'm happy to be here, in a flat, robotic way.
Like you're reading it off a cue card.
Yeah. You have to actually inject the emotion, force a smile, feel the meaning of happy, put some energy into your voice, own the words emotionally. The brain needs to learn to connect the English sound directly to the internal feeling, bypassing that cold, analytical translation step.
Connect sound to feeling. Okay, what else for the brain?
This leads right into step 2. Speak like an actor, not a student.
An act.
Yeah. This is a fantastic psychological trick to get around fear. When you're practicing, don't think of yourself as a student who might make mistakes. Think of yourself as an actor performing a role.
How does that help?
Actors focus on performance, on conveying emotion, not on personal judgment. So the practice is simple but powerful. Take a neutral sentence, something short, like, oh, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Now, say it 3 times, but with completely different emotions. First, say it really excited, high energy, maybe faster pace.
I'll be there in 5 minutes. Excitedly.
Good. Now say it angry, sharp, maybe lower tone, forceful.
I'll be there in 5 minutes. Angrily.
Nice. Okay, now nervous, maybe hesitant, voice a bit shaky.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Nervously.
Perfect. See how your voice, your delivery, even probably your posture changed?
Yeah, completely different.
When your brain is busy acting, busy trying to convey angry or excited, it doesn't have the bandwidth to worry about, oh no, did I use the right preposition? The focus shifts from self-analysis to performance. You become the sentence. You're not just reciting it.
Exactly. You bypass the fear circuit. Fluency, in this view, feels much more like confident performance than just accurate recitation. It's about feeling, not fear.
Emotion, acting. What's the third brain training step?
Step 3. Create mental shortcuts for automatic fluency. We need to actively fight against that slow, painful translation process that so many learners get stuck in.
You mean thinking it in your native language first?
Then translating word by word into English.
Then trying to say it.
Then panicking because it sounds clunky or takes too long. Yeah, that whole chain reaction.
It's exhausting.
And slow. The brain loves shortcuts. It's designed for efficiency. We just need to consciously build those shortcuts for English.
No.
The sources call it the this means that system, or creating fluency triggers. The goal is to train your brain to connect an English sound or phrase directly to a meaning, an image, or an emotion, completely skipping the native language translation step.
So instead of hearing, let's catch up sometime, and thinking, okay, let's chat sometime, let's meet later.
Right. Instead of that word-by-word slog, you train your brain so that the sound, let's catch up sometime, instantly triggers the meaning. Friendly invitation, casual meeting, maybe coffee, image, feeling, function, boom. Direct connection.
Give me another example.
Okay, maybe a feeling word. Someone says, I'm starving. Instead of translating starving literally, you connect the sound I'm starving directly to the feeling of intense hunger and the associated thought, need food and now.
Or simple greeting like, what's up?
Perfect example, don't translate it. Connect the sound, what's up, directly to the function. Casual greeting, response expected, not much or similar. No literal meaning involved.
You're building instant reactions, bypassing the slow analytical path.
Exactly. That's where speed comes from. Automaticity.
So can we combine these brain techniques into another short daily routine, like the mouth routine?
Yes, they suggest integrating it maybe another 5 minutes or woven into the first 5. A dedicated brain plus mouth practice. What would that look like?
Maybe 1 minute. Pick 3 sentences and say each one with full, genuine emotion. Happy, angry, sad, whatever. Really feel it.
Okay. Emotion first.
1 minute. Act out those lines, like a mini movie scene. Use facial expressions, maybe even gestures. Become the actor.
Physical with it.
1 minute. Repeat the lines while walking around. Moving your body helps lock things into memory and gives your voice more natural energy.
Okay, walk and talk.
1 minute. Go back to the mirror, say the lines again, but this time focus on projecting power and confidence. Look yourself right in the eye.
Reinforce that confident speaker image.
And finally, 1 minute. Record yourself saying those emotional, acted-out lines, and when you listen back, focus only on the energy. Does it sound convincing? Does it have life? Ignore the grammar for this exercise.
Focus on the feeling conveyed.
Yes. So when you put it all together, the mouth mechanics from the first routine, the rhythm from the cluster practice, and now this brain training, the emotion, the acting, the shortcuts.
It's a holistic approach. It is. The claim is that when you successfully merge emotion, rhythm, voice, thought, and physical presence, you don't just speak English anymore. You fundamentally become an English speaker. And that shift in identity, that's what people hear. That's what feels fluent.
We've hit on repetition quite a bit. Shadowing, loops, cluster practice. It seems central.
It absolutely is. Repetition is the engine driving muscle memory, whether it's for learning piano, mastering a tennis serve, or speaking English fluently.
But the sources had a warning about repetition, right?
A crucial one. Repetition is the secret weapon, yes, but most learners do it completely wrong.
How so? What's the wrong way?
The wrong way is mindless, monotone repetition. Just saying the same sentence over and over in a flat, robotic voice with zero energy or focus.
Like reading a list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That kind of repetition leads straight to boredom. You stop paying attention and progress just stalls. It becomes a chore, not training. The sources emphasize that effective repetition is a science. It needs variety and specific goals.
So what are the real goals of smart repetition? What should we be aiming for?
It's not just about memorizing the sentence. It's about building mouth agility, making your tongue and lips faster and more precise. It's about improving reaction speed, being able to produce the sounds instantly. It's building the actual sound muscle, developing flow and rhythm, and crucially, building confidence to speak clearly even when you feel under pressure.
Yeah. So each repetition should have a purpose, aiming to make it better somehow.
Precisely. Better, smoother, faster, more expressive, more confident. Not just again.
Okay, so how do we practice repetition smartly? Is there a system for that too?
Yes, the sources outline a specific 5-stage repetition system. They call it the Speak Like a Human protocol. It's designed to layer different aspects of fluency onto a single sentence each day.
5 stages for one sentence. How long does this take?
Again, aiming for efficiency. About 1 minute per stage, so 5 minutes total for one power sentence per day.
Okay, walk me through the 5 stages. What's stage 1?
Stage 1. Slow clarity. 1 minute. You take your chosen sentence for the day and you say it incredibly slowly, like really stretch out the vowel sounds. Actively feel the shape your mouth makes where your tongue is for every single sound.
Why so slow?
This is pure physical training for precision. Think of it like lifting a light weight very, very slowly at the gym. It forces intense focus on the muscle control, in this case, your articulators, lips, tongue, jaw. You're building the foundation of accurate movement before adding speed.
Okay, slow and deliberate muscle training. Stage 2.
Stage 2. Flow repetition. 1 minute. Now, take that same sentence and say it at a normal conversational speed, but the entire focus is on making it one smooth, connected line. No pauses between words. Concentrate on linking sounds together and maintaining steady breath control.
So this stage is about rhythm and connection, training for real-life conversation speed.
Exactly. Building that speech music we talked about.
Stage 3.
Stage 3. Emotion repetition. 1 minute. This connects back to the brain training. Take your sentence, let's say it's I don't know what to say, and say it with 3 completely different emotions.
Like we did with the actor exercise.
Precisely. Say it sounding sad, maybe soft, low pitch. Then say it sounding angry, sharp, louder, more forceful. Then maybe confused, with an upward intonation, questioning.
What's the goal of adding emotion here again?
It trains your brain to use the full range of your voice. It connects the words to feeling, making them part of your voice, not just abstract sounds. It helps you own the sentence emotionally.
Got it. Stage 4.
Stage 4, pressure repetition. 1 minute. Now we test the limits. Say the sentence as fast as you possibly can, but try to keep it clear. Push your speed boundary.
Faster than normal conversational speed.
Yes, deliberately faster. You're challenging your tongue, your jaw, your brain's processing speed. The goal is to train your mouth and brain to react instantly, without time for conscious thought or panic. It simulates the feeling of a fast-paced conversation.
Building resilience under pressure. Okay, makes sense. What's the final stage? Stage 5.
Stage 5, real-world use. 1 minute. This one requires a bit of imagination. Take your sentence and mentally, or out loud, use it in 3 totally different situations or contexts.
How do you mean?
Okay, stick with I don't know what to say. Imagine saying that during a surprise job interview when asked a tough question. Then imagine saying it in a really romantic, heartfelt moment. Then imagine saying it after doing something incredibly embarrassing.
So you're practicing applying the sentence in different emotional and social contexts.
Exactly. It forces your brain to see the English sentence not just as a string of words to be practiced, but as a real tool for communication in diverse, emotionally charged, real-life scenarios. It makes the language truly functional.
Slow, clarity, flow, emotion, pressure, real-world use. 5 layers of practice on one sentence.
5 layers, 5 minutes. And the sources really stress choosing sentences that mean something to you.
Personal sentences.
Yeah, things that feel powerful or emotional. Maybe I'm proud of how far I've come, or a determination like I will speak fluently no matter what.
Why does personal connection matter so much?
Because when the words themselves have power for you, your voice automatically gains more conviction, more energy, more authority. You practice with more intensity.
So this whole structured repetition process, it's the hidden work.
It's the invisible work, absolutely. It's what builds that strong, reliable bridge from silence or hesitant speech to actual fluency. The people who sound effortlessly fluent, you can bet they did thousands of repetitions like this, probably in private, when nobody was watching.
Which leads back to that mantra you mentioned earlier.
I don't repeat to remember. I repeat to become. It's not just about drilling words into your head. It's about fundamentally reshaping your physical habits and your mental approach, transforming yourself into someone who speaks English confidently. Hashtag tag tag outro.
Wow. Okay, so this whole deep dive, it really boils down to a pretty stark contrast, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Between the typical passive learner, the one who watches hours of YouTube lessons, scrolls through grammar apps, maybe reads a lot.
Consuming information, but not actively doing much speaking practice.
Right. Versus the truly fluent speaker, who might actually spend less time consuming, but dedicates that consistent 5, maybe 10 minutes every single day to focused, physical, active training of their mouth and brain.
It's the difference between knowing about swimming and actually getting in the pool and practicing the strokes.
Exactly. And it forces you to think about, well, the cost of not doing that physical practice, the cost of silence.
It can be high.
Think about it, maybe a job opportunity you didn't go for because the interview was in English, or a connection with someone, a friendship that never quite developed because conversation felt too hard, dreams put on pause. All because at that crucial moment.
The mouth froze. The words wouldn't come out.
Yeah. And while you can't change those past moments, the message here seems to be that you absolutely can change the next 30 days just by making that decision to do the physical work, to train your mouth to talk.
It really reframes fluency, doesn't it? The sources argue it's not some innate talent you're born with or something that requires massive, unpredictable bursts of motivation.
It's a decision.
A decision, followed by consistent action. The decision to train every day just for those few minutes, even when you don't feel like it, even when it feels awkward. Fluency is built in those quiet moments, in front of the mirror, repeating phrases in your living room, doing those shadow exercises alone. It's built in the private, unglamorous, consistent repetition.
We work no one else sees.
Exactly. And that leads to a really provocative final thought they leave us with.
Okay, let's hear it.
When you finally get to that point, when you're speaking English fluently in a meeting or ordering food confidently on vacation or just chatting easily with native speakers, people will hear you. They'll probably say, wow, your English is amazing. You speak so well.
Yeah, we'll see the result.
But they won't have seen the process. They didn't see the 5-minute warm-ups every morning. They didn't see you feeling silly doing lip rolls or talking to your reflection in the mirror. They didn't hear those first awkward recordings you made.
They just hear the final product, the fluent speech.
Right, but the truth is you built that. You earned that voice. You created that fluency, maybe from almost nothing, just through consistent, focused, physical and mental effort.
So the most fluent people aren't necessarily the smartest in a traditional sense.
Not necessarily. According to this approach, they're often just the ones who refuse to stay silent, the ones who are willing to do the slightly awkward, repetitive work day after day, your fluency, your real voice in English. It truly begins the moment your fear of sounding imperfect finally ends. Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, let's talk about something almost every English learner knows. That feeling, right? You've put in the hours, maybe years, grammar books, vocabulary lists. You know your stuff.
You can read, you understand films.
Exactly. But then the moment comes, job interview, casual chat, anything, and freeze.
Yeah, Total freeze.
Your mouth just stops working, your tongue feels like lead, and all that vocabulary, gone, vanished. It's like a physical shutdown.
It really feels physical, doesn't it?
Mhm.
And learners often blame themselves. I'm not confident, or I'm just not smart enough.
Yeah, that's the go-to explanation.
But the sources we're diving into today, they offer a pretty radical counterargument. They say the core problem isn't really in your head. Well, not just in your head.
Okay, so where is it?
It's mechanical. It's
Okay.
physical. We're looking at material today that tackles the one big thing most English teaching skips entirely: training your mouth, your actual lips, tongue, jaw. Treating them like muscles you need to train.
Train your mouth. Okay, that's interesting. So the idea from these resources, train your mouth, the speaking fluency system, is that speaking English well isn't just knowing things.
Right. It's not just mental recall.
It's a physical act. It depends on how well your lips, tongue, jaw, even your breath all work together. And if those parts, those speaking muscles, are, well, kind of weak or slow for English sounds,
Then fluency always feels just out of reach. It doesn't matter how many words you've memorized. Your mouth physically can't keep up. You've got to train your mouth to talk effectively.
that really reframes the whole struggle, doesn't it?
It completely flips the script.
Yeah.
We usually think language learning is purely mental grind. Memory, accuracy, rules. This approach says, hold on, it's also physical training. And the promise is pretty bold.
Goodness.
A simple, consistent method. 5 minutes every single day to actually transform the way your mouth moves when you speak English.
Yeah.
And building real confidence comes from that physical competence.
So we're shifting focus, less about cramming more stuff in your head and more about learning physical movement over memory. That's the key to speak fluently English, according to this.
Precisely.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's really unpack this. How does this work? Why does our mouth freeze? And what exactly is this 5-minute routine? Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with that big question, that shocking truth you mentioned. Why does someone who aces the written tests, knows all the grammar, why do they still sound hesitant or freeze up when speaking? I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. The words are right there in your head,
Clear as day.
but they just won't come out smoothly or quickly. The source material doesn't mince words here, does it? It says the mouth is just untrained.
That's the core diagnosis. It's physically unprepared for the specific movements English requires. Think about it. Every language has its own unique physical dance for the tongue, lips, jaw.
A dance. I like that.
Yeah. And for your native language, you've been practicing that dance since you were a baby. It's completely automatic.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
But English, it has a different rhythm, different shapes for the mouth, different sounds altogether sometimes. So when a learner tries to switch,
The mouth is still trying to do the old dance.
exactly, or it just moves slowly, clumsily. The tongue, the lips, the jaw, they're used to the patterns of the native language, so they feel, well, lazy or slow when asked to perform these unfamiliar English movements.
So it's not mental slowness, it's physical slowness of the articulators, the tongue, lips, jaw.
Precisely.
All right.
Take the English, the sounds. Many languages just don't have that specific tongue tip between the teeth movement, or the way the tongue pulls back for an American R.
Right.
If your tongue isn't used to doing that quickly and precisely, your speech will naturally sound broken or slow. It feels unnatural because the physical machinery isn't tuned for English. It's a fitness issue, not an intelligence issue.
Okay, the fitness analogy. This really helps clarify it for me. Let's explore that.
Think about deciding to run a marathon. You could read every single book about running, know all the theory, breathing, stride, nutrition, everything. Perfect knowledge.
Got it. Book smart.
But you never actually go for a run, not once. Then you show up on race day. What happens?
Disaster. You collapse after 50 meters. Your muscles aren't ready.
Exactly. That's the collapse these sources say happens with speaking. The words, the grammar, that's the running theory. But the speaking muscles, tongue, lips, jaw coordination, they haven't been trained. They're weak. So you try to speak, especially under pressure, and you just seize up.
That's a powerful comparison. And it kind of takes the pressure off in a weird way. It's not that I'm failing, it's that I haven't done the right kind of training.
Precisely. It shifts the focus from self-blame to methodology. In your native language, think about the sheer amount of repetition. Every sound, every common phrase, repeated thousands, maybe millions of times.
Since childhood, yeah.
That built the automatic muscle memory. But when learning English, we often skip that crucial physical practice. Learners might mumble tricky sounds or ignore silent letters or "this is huge." They don't practice linking words together smoothly.
Why do we skip that? Because it's hard.
Because the mouth isn't physically comfortable or quick enough to do it easily. so we avoid it. And the result is that choppy, effortful speech, which naturally kills your confidence. You think, see, I'm bad at this.
When really you just haven't done your mouth push-up.
Exactly. You haven't trained your mouth to talk the English way. But here's the good news, and it's really good news.
Okay.
Muscles can be trained, these speaking muscles. They respond to focused, consistent practice, just like going to the gym.
So it's not hopeless.
Not at all. And the system argues you don't need hours and hours. It claims 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes of the right kind of focused physical exercise.
5 minutes. That sounds doable.
The goal isn't necessarily a perfect native accent either. It's about building flow, smoothness, and confidence. And that comes directly from training the physical movement of speaking.
Okay, so let's get practical. The 5-minute daily routine, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? The promise is bold. Stick to this for 30 days, just 5 minutes daily, and you'll actually feel and hear a difference.
That's the core claim. It's about building tiny, consistent physical habits. Literally rewiring how your mouth moves for English. Because again, reading is knowledge.
But speaking is movement.
Got it.
And movement needs muscle memory.
Exactly. This routine is designed to build that physical competence, that automaticity, so speaking starts feeling less like mental calculation and more like, well, just talking.
5 minutes. It sounds almost too simple. Let's break down exactly what happens in those 5 minutes, step by step, and why each part matters for training your mouth to talk.
Okay. Step 1, the mouth warm-up. This takes just 1 minute. Think of it like stretching before a run. You have to get the muscles ready for action.
What muscles are we talking about? Lips, tongue?
Lips, tongue, jaw, even coordinating your breath. The key goal here is shifting out of your native language's default muscle tension and rhythm.
Because different languages use different levels of tension.
Often, yes. English often requires more flexible, sometimes faster movements than other languages. So this warm-up loosens things up, gets you into English mode.
Okay, what does the warm-up involve? The source mentioned lip rolls, buzzing like a motorbike.
Yep. Gently buzz your lips, like brr. Hold it for about 5 seconds, relax, repeat 3 times. It sounds silly, maybe feels silly at first.
I can imagine. Why the buzzing?
It directly targets the main muscle around your mouth, the orbicularis oris. When learners are tense, this muscle stiffens, making sounds like P, B, M harder to produce clearly. The buzzing loosens it, increases blood flow, gets the lips ready.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Then tongue stretches. Slowly push your tongue straight out as far as comfortable, then pull it back slowly. Repeat that 10 times.
And this tackles that lazy tongue issue.
Precisely. It stretches all the muscles controlling the tongue, improving its flexibility and range of motion. Crucial for hitting those precise English vowel and consonant positions quickly.
Right. And the jaw. I know I clench my jaw when I'm nervous speaking.
Very common. So the routine includes jaw loosening. Gently open your mouth wide, then close it slowly. 5 times. It releases that tension in the jaw joint, the TMJ. Finally, a smile stretch. Stretch your smile really wide, like an exaggerated laugh. Hold for 5 seconds, relax, repeat twice. This helps prepare the lips for the wider vowel shapes often found in English.
So 1 minute total for lip rolls, tongue stretch, jaw loosen, smile stretch. It's not just relaxing, it's actually activating the specific muscles needed. A warm mouth is a ready mouth.
Exactly. Then comes step 2, the mirror technique. 1 minute. This one's both physical and psychological.
Okay, talking to myself in the mirror. This is the part I suspect people might resist. It feels awkward.
It absolutely can feel awkward at first, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
The goal is building self-awareness and, crucially, starting to dismantle that fear of being judged even by yourself.
How does staring at myself help with fear of judgment?
Because you have to confront your own speaking image and voice. You stand close to the mirror, make eye contact with yourself. Choose a simple positive sentence, something like, I am learning to speak confidently, or this is my English voice.
Oh.
Then you say it, slowly at first. Watch your mouth move. See how you form the sounds. Repeat it 5 times, getting a little faster each time.
And what's the expected result? Besides feeling weird initially.
The sources say the awkwardness usually fades within 3 to 4 days. Your brain gets used to seeing and hearing you speak English. By about day 10, it starts to feel empowering. You're building what they call speaking presence. If you can't face yourself speaking, how can you confidently face others? It's a vital step to train your mouth to talk with conviction.
Okay, I can see the logic. Facing the fear directly. What's next? Step 3.
Step 3, shadow speaking. This is 2 minutes, and it's really where the core fluency training kicks in. This builds that real-time reaction ability.
Shadow speaking, like
Yeah.
mimicking someone.
Exactly. You listen to a very short audio clip, maybe 5 to 10 seconds of a native speaker, could be from a podcast, a movie, a speech,
Okay.
and immediately after hearing it, or even slightly overlapping, you repeat it aloud. You try to match everything, the speed, the intonation, the rhythm, the pauses, even the emotion.
So I'm not thinking about the meaning or the grammar, just copying the sound.
Precisely. It's pure muscle mimicry. If they say, I don't think that's a good idea, you echo that exact sound pattern, that rhythm, instantly. Don't worry if you stumble. Keep going.
Why is this so effective?
Because it bypasses your conscious brain's tendency to translate or analyze. It forces your auditory system and your mouth muscles to sync up at native speed. You're training your mouth to feel the rhythm of English, just like how kids learn. It connects ear, brain, and mouth directly.
So it short-circuits the delay caused by thinking about rules.
Exactly. It builds that reactive speed you need to speak fluently English.
Okay, 2 minutes of shadowing. That leaves 1 minute. What's step 4?
Step 4, the fluency loop. 1 minute. The goal here is specific. Get comfortable with different speeds and stop overthinking phrases.
How does it work?
You pick one sentence for the day. Maybe, I'm going to improve my English. Then you repeat it in 3 distinct speeds, looping through them.
3 speeds? Like what?
First, slow speed. Really clear, deliberate pronunciation. Focus on every sound. Feel the movements. Second, normal speed. Smooth, connected, like natural conversation pace. Third, fast speed. Push yourself. Link the words tightly, like a native speaker might say it quickly and confidently. I'm going to improve my English.
And you cycle through slow, normal, fast.
Yes, repeat that whole SNF loop 3 times within the minute. It's like interval training for your mouth.
Why the speed variation?
Pushing the speed makes the normal speed feel easier. Constantly shifting gears forces your brain and mouth to adapt quickly. It breaks down that mental block where a phrase feels difficult. Your brain eventually goes, oh, I can do this fast, so normal is easy. It builds speed and confidence directly, essential to train your mouth to talk automatically under pressure.
Wow, okay. So let's recap the 5 minutes. 1 min warm-up, 1 min mirror technique, 2 min shadow speaking, 1 min of fluency loop. It's intense, but focused.
Exactly. 5 minutes of targeted physical work every single day.
All right, we've talked about warming up the mouth and practicing movements. Now let's talk about the sound itself. This leads us to what the sources call the robot problem. Why can someone follow all the grammar rules perfectly, but still sound, well, robotic, slow, unnatural, kind of flat?
Yeah, the robot voice. It happens because learners often treat speaking like reading aloud from a book. They pronounce every single word separately, with tiny pauses in between.
Like they're ticking off words on a list.
Exactly. They're focusing on individual word accuracy, maybe mimicking the structure of their native language or just how words look on a page. But that's not how fluent English sounds. It's mechanical.
So what's the alternative? What's the native speaker secret for sounding smooth and fast?
Native speakers don't speak in isolated words. We speak in sound clusters. Groups of words that flow together rhythmically, almost like music.
Sound clusters, like chunks of sound.
Precisely. It's driven by meaning and the natural rhythm of English. This is where concepts like word linking, smooth transitions, and rhythm, what some call speech music, come into play. Fluency is largely about mastering this flow.
Okay, flow is key, but sometimes learners worry, if I focus on flow, will my accuracy suffer? Is it a trade-off?
That's a valid concern, but the sources argue it's about smart flow, not just speed. The focus shifts from what individual words you're choosing to how you're delivering groups of words as a single smooth unit.
And the argument is that listeners respond better to flow.
Absolutely. Think about it. Who sounds more competent? Someone who speaks smoothly with a slight rhythm, even if they make a small grammar mistake. Or someone who speaks perfectly correct English but halts and hesitates every few words.
The smooth speaker, definitely. They sound more confident, easier to listen to.
Right. Listeners forgive small errors much more easily than they forgive broken, effortful delivery. Training your mouth to talk with rhythm builds that perception of competence and confidence.
Let's dig into the mechanics here. What makes these clusters happen? You mentioned linking.
Yes, word linking or liaison is huge. When a word ends in a consonant sound and the next starts with a vowel sound, we naturally link them. An apple becomes an apple. Turn it off becomes turn it off.
That's okay, Edgar.
And the other big piece is reduction. This is where English gets its characteristic rhythm. We stress the important words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and we shrink or reduce the less important function words.
Like to, ta, is, are.
Exactly. Prepositions, articles, auxiliary verbs, they often get squished down into quick, soft sounds, frequently the schwa sound, that weak sound.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Take, I want to go to the park.
Hmm.
A native speaker doesn't usually pronounce those twos fully. It becomes more like, I want to go to the park. The twos are reduced. Learners who pronounce every single function word fully sound unnatural because they're missing this rhythmic reduction.
Got it. Let's use the examples from the source material to really highlight this contrast. What are you doing? How does that sound different?
The learner might say, what are you? 4 distinct beats. The fluent speaker often reduces and links it. What you doing? Or what are you doing? The R practically disappears or blends, becomes one smooth rhythmic phrase.
Okay. And did you eat?
Learner, did you eat? Fluent speaker linking did and you. Did you eat? It sounds almost like one word.
Right. And I don't know.
Learner, oh, carefully hitting the T and K. Fluent speaker, I don't know. Blended, faster, smoother. The goal is that comfortable, connected sound, not perfectly isolated words. Training your mouth to produce these clusters makes you sound fluent.
So how do we actively practice creating this flow? What's the daily routine for clusters?
The sources recommend a dedicated cluster practice. Step 1, every day, pick 3 common sound clusters. Things like gonna go now, or want to see it, or let me know.
Okay. Step 2, repeat them like a song or a rap. Why the music angle?
Because rhythm creates memory. Repeating it rhythmically, maybe 10 times, forces your mouth, breath, and brain to treat it as one single unit. It builds the physical habit. You start to feel the flow. Makes sense. Step 3.
Use that cluster in a full sentence. If the cluster is going to go now, make a sentence. I'm going to go now, talk soon. Then say the entire sentence as one smooth, connected sound. Repeat that 5 times. Focus on making it flow like one breath.
Okay. And step 4 sounds crucial. Record yourself.
Non-negotiable, according to the sources. Record yourself saying the 3 clusters and the 3 sentences each day. Listen back immediately. Don't obsess over perfection. Listen for flow. Does it sound smooth, natural, fast enough? If not, do it again until it improves. That instant feedback is key.
And there was an optional step 5, music.
Yeah, a supercharge option. Practicing the clusters along with some soft background music trying to hit the beat. It really emphasizes the rhythm and helps with breath control, reinforces that English is musical.
And finally, the sources listed some key phrases to master. Absolutely. High-frequency clusters that fluent speakers use constantly. Things like, what do you think? Let me help you. Give me a minute. I gotta go. I want to do it. Drilling these core phrases helps you internalize the fundamental rhythm of spoken English. That's how you train your mouth to talk naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered the mouth mechanics, the warm-ups, the flow, but we have to address the elephant in the room, the brain, because you can have the most physically trained mouth in the world.
But if your brain is screaming panic, it does matter.
Exactly. The sources are really clear on this. Learners train the mouth, but often neglect the brain, which is full of noise, fear, self-doubt, the habit of translating, worry about judgment. That internal static jams the signal. The mouth freezes because the brain freezes.
The analogy used was the pilot and the airplane.
Yeah, the brain is the nervous pilot, the mouth is the airplane. If the pilot is hesitant, anxious, slow to react, the plane won't fly smoothly no matter how good the engines are. We need to upgrade the pilot's software too.
So it's not just muscle training, it's mental training running in parallel. How do we do that? How do we quiet that internal noise?
Well, physiologically, when you feel that speaking anxiety, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol actually hinders your ability to access complex memory, like vocabulary. That's why words disappear under pressure.
Ah, it's a real chemical thing.
It is. And the biggest mistake, the sources argue, is that learners focus intensely on correcting grammar, perfect grammar, right tense, instead of focusing on connecting with the listener, on conveying energy and meaning.
People remember how you made them feel, not whether you use the past perfect correctly.
Precisely. So step 1 for brain training is speak with emotion, not just accuracy. You have to train your brain to link the English words directly to feelings and intentions, not just abstract rules.
Give me an example.
Instead of saying, I'm happy to be here, like you're reading a dictionary definition, say it like you mean it. Smile. Let your voice have energy. Feel happy. Practice connecting the sound of the English phrase to the actual emotion. That's how you train your mouth to talk with authenticity, driven by the brain's intent.
Okay, infuse it with feeling. What's the next step for the brain? This one sounds intriguing. Step 2, speak like an actor, not a student.
This is a technique to bypass that self-conscious inner critic. When you're acting, You're performing a role, which creates a bit of psychological distance. You're less worried about your mistakes and more focused on delivering the line.
How does that work in practice?
Take a simple, everyday sentence like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Now practice saying that same line with 3 completely different emotions.
Okay, like how?
Say it really excited. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Higher pitch, faster. Then angry. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Sharper, louder. Then maybe nervous. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Quieter, hesitant.
I can immediately feel how my breathing, posture, and voice changed just thinking about that.
Exactly. You're forcing your brain and body to connect language to varied emotional states. And crucially, while you're focused on how to convey anger or excitement, you temporarily forget to worry about grammar or pronunciation perfection. You become the sentence. Fluency feels much closer when it's tied to feeling, not fear.
Okay, acting helps bypass fear. What about the translation habit? That slow mental process. Native language, translate, take. English, bay, panic.
We need to break that chain. The brain hates inefficiency, and translation is super inefficient. This leads to step 3. Create mental shortcuts for automatic fluency.
Shortcuts, how?
Using what the sources call the this means that system, you train your brain to connect an English sound cluster directly to an image, an emotion, a context, or a function, completely skipping the word-for-word translation.
Okay, explain that with an example. Let's catch up sometime.
Right. The untrained brain might go, let's catch plus up, direction plus sometime, future point. It's slow and clunky.
Yeah, makes no sense, literally.
The trained brain, using this means that, here's the sound cluster. Let's catch up sometime. It instantly connects it to the meaning. Friendly invitation to chat later, maybe reconnect. It's one chunk of meaning, triggered by the sound.
So you're basically creating direct links between English phrases and their real-world use or feeling.
Exactly. Another one, I'm starving. Slow brain. I'm suffering from lack of food. Fast brain hears, I'm starving. Image, empty stomach, feeling, extreme hunger, action, need food now. You write down common phrases and next to them, not the translation, but the meaning, the context, the feeling. This builds those instant connections needed to speak fluently English without thinking.
This requires deliberate practice associating sounds with situations.
Yes. So there's a combined daily brain plus mouth practice routine, again, just 5 minutes.
Okay, lay it out.
1 minute. Pick 3 sentences and say each one with full, genuine emotion, happy, angry, sad, whatever fits, really feel it. 1 minute. Act out each line like you're in a movie scene. Use gestures, facial expressions. 1 minute. Repeat the lines while moving. Walk around your room. Stand tall. Physical movement helps lock it in. 1 minute. Back to the mirror. Say the lines with power, confidence, making eye contact with yourself. 1 minute. Record yourself saying the lines. Listen back, but this time focus only on the energy and the feeling. Ignore small mistakes. Does it sound convincing? Alive.
Wow. That's a very different kind of practice. So, putting it all together, what's the big takeaway here?
The big takeaway is that achieving true fluency, where you can really speak fluently English, isn't just about learning words or rules. It's about integrating everything. The physical movement of your mouth, the rhythm, the emotion, your thoughts, your presence. When all those align, you don't just speak English, you shift your identity. You become an English speaker. And that's something people notice instantly.
Okay, we keep coming back to repetition as the foundation for building this skill, this muscle memory. But the sources issue a really important warning here, don't they? Just repeating isn't enough. In fact, mindless repetition can be counterproductive.
Absolutely crucial point. Many learners do repeat, but they do it flatly, robotically. Same intonation every time, no energy. They're just going through the motions.
And that leads to
boredom, frustration, and crucially, they're reinforcing bad habits or simply not building the right kind of memory. The sources stress that repetition needs to be smart. It's a science, not just a chore.
So what are the real goals of smart repetition? It's not just memorizing the sentence, right?
Not at all. The goals are much deeper. We're talking about building durable mouth muscle memory, faster reaction speed under pressure, strengthening the specific sound muscles, embedding that natural flow and rhythm, and building genuine confidence when you have to actually use the language. It's about making the sentence feel easier, faster, and more natural each time you say it.
Saying it better, not just saying it again.
Exactly. And to achieve this, the sources propose a specific system, the 5-stage repetition system. The idea is to take one powerful sentence each day and layer these 5 different types of practice onto it, spending about a minute on each stage.
Okay, 5 stages for one sentence per day. Let's break them down. Stage 1.
Stage 1, slow clarity, 1 minute. You say the sentence incredibly slowly, exaggeratedly slow. Stretch out the vowels. Really feel the shape your mouth makes for every single sound.
Why so slow?
It's like lifting weights slowly with perfect form in the gym. It builds the foundational muscle control and awareness in your articulators. You're strengthening the muscles correctly before adding speed.
Okay, slow and deliberate. Stage 2.
Stage 2. Flow repetition. 1 minute. Now take that same sentence and say it smoothly, at a normal conversational pace. Focus on linking the words together, making it one continuous flow of sound. Use good breath control. This is training for real-life speed. Stage 3. Emotion repetition. 1 minute. This is where you really own the sentence emotionally. Say it with at least 3 different feelings. If the sentence is, I don't know what to say it sounding sad, maybe soft, falling tone. Then angry, chirp, maybe louder. Then confused, perhaps with a rising tone at the end.
Why the different emotions again?
It connects the phrase to real human expression. It stops it from being just a string of sounds and makes it a tool for communication. It trains the brain to use the phrase flexibly.
Got it. Stage 4. Sounds intense. Pressure repetition. 1 minute.
This is where you push your limits. Say the sentence fast. Faster than comfortable, but still trying to maintain control. Really push the speed of your lips and tongue.
What's the purpose of practicing it super fast?
It simulates the pressure of a real, fast-paced conversation. It trains your mouth and brain to react instantly without needing time to think or translate. When you practice faster than normal, the normal speed starts to feel easy, automatic. It kills hesitation.
Okay, pushing the boundaries. And the final stage, stage 5.
Stage 5. Real-world use. 1 minute. This is about application. Take the sentence you've been drilling and mentally, or actually, if possible, use it in 3 different realistic contexts or situations.
How would that work with, I don't know what to say?
You could imagine saying it nervously during a job interview question you didn't expect. Then imagine saying it softly in a touching emotional moment. Then imagine saying it frustrated in an argument. You're training your brain to retrieve and use that phrase appropriately and flexibly in actual life scenarios. That's the bridge to truly being able to speak fluently English when it counts.
That makes sense. It's about context, not just repetition. And the sources also emphasize choosing sentences that matter to you, right? Personal ones.
Yes, hugely important. Choose sentences that have some emotional weight for you. Maybe, I am proud of the progress I'm making, or I'm determined to speak fluently, or even just a phrase you genuinely want to use often. When the words themselves have power for you, your voice naturally gains more power and conviction when you say them.
So this whole 5-stage process, day after day, sentence by sentence, that's the invisible work.
That's the bridge being built, brick by brick, between silence and fluency. The people who sound effortlessly fluent, they almost certainly put in this kind of focused, layered repetition, probably thousands of times, often when no one was watching.
It leads to that mantra you mentioned.
I don't repeat to remember, I repeat to become. It's about transforming your capability, your identity as a speaker. Hashtag outro.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it really feels like we've drawn a clear line in the sand. There's the passive learner consuming hours of videos, reading, maybe doing quizzes, but minimal focused speaking practice.
Lots of input, low output training.
And then there's an active fluent speaker, the one who commits to that targeted physical work. Even if it's just those 5 focused minutes every single day, they're the ones actively training their mouth to talk.
And it forces us to think, doesn't it, about the cost of not doing that training, the cost of silence.
Yeah. How many opportunities have been missed? A job, a connection, a chance to share an idea, all because in that critical moment, the mouth just wouldn't cooperate.
You can't change those past moments, but the sources are clear. You absolutely can change what happens in the next 30 days and beyond. It starts with deciding to train your mouth to talk the way you want it to.
And fluency, based on everything we've discussed, isn't some magical gift. It's not about having a special talent or waiting for motivation to strike.
No, it's a decision. It's the commitment to do the training, the warm-ups, the mirror work, the shadowing, the loops, the smart repetition every day, whether you feel like it or not. Fluency is built in those private moments of practice.
In the mirror, in the living room,
Yeah.
the work nobody else sees.
Exactly. And here's maybe a final thought to leave with. When you do start speaking more fluently, when people say, wow, your English sounds so natural,
Yeah.
they won't have seen the hundreds of repetitions, the awkward mirror sessions, the shadow speaking drills where you felt silly, the recordings you cringed at and deleted. They just hear the result.
The smooth, confident voice.
But you'll know you didn't just get fluent. You built it. You earned that voice. You literally created that physical skill through your own consistent effort. The most fluent people often aren't the ones who started out smartest. They're the ones who refuse to let fear keep them silent. They decided to train their mouth to talk. Your fluency journey really takes off when that fear starts to fade.